The defining moment in my life when my father died, when he was killed, and I promised him at his funeral that I would continue his dream because he was a peacemaker. And we traveled together a lot as he went around his ministry doing, bringing relief supplies to areas of Uganda that were suffering from war and famine. And so I could see what he was trying to do. And I said, if when he was killed, I said, if your mission meant that much to you, then I'd continue it. And I think that changed my life completely because I was a filmmaker, which I still am, but now I'm using it more, my writing, and to be more of a peacemaker than just to make films that people come and enjoy. There's a message and a purpose in what I do. He was stopped at a roadblock, and he was pulled out of the car in front of my mother and in front of my grandfather, and was shot about 4 times in the major arteries. They were looking for him. They'd been going around because peacemakers always get caught between opposing forces. And he was trying to speak to the government and try to speak to the rebels in the bush and say, we gotta come together. This is genocide. And people would tell him, John Wilson, don't go into Uganda, don't go, because he was living in Kenya at the time. It was too dangerous to live in Uganda. But he would go in, and he was trying to get missions together and bring churches together. And he said, we've got to. He said, how can we as a church, how can we talk about peace and reconciliation when we ourselves are so divided? So he was trying to do that. So he was trying to do just reconciliation on so many fronts. And somebody obviously didn't want peace. And they sent people after him, and they followed him. There was a trail all the day. People say, yeah, men came here and were asking for you, and you just left. And they went to the next place, and until finally they constructed a makeshift roadblock on a road when they knew he was coming, and stopped him, pulled him out, shot him, took the car, and left him with my mother and my grandfather on the side of the road. And my mother then had to run to a friend who lived close by, and she came with a car, and they put him in the car, and he made it to the hospital and died 10 minutes on the operating table. And when they wrote the cause of death, they said loss of blood. And in Uganda, the Christian church has a saying that says that the blood of the martyrs is the seed of the church. And so I believe that blood shed, so many people shed innocent blood on Ugandan soil, that I believe that little country really has the answer to a worldwide reawakening, a worldwide movement, of Christian movement.